Hello and welcome to Jedi Jingle Maker. This is my music channel where I feature my original music. I also do gear reviews. I use the gear I review in these videos in the music I make. And stay tuned until the end. You'll see a guitar made with the modifications that I'm about to make to this beautiful, inexpensive guitar. This is a Firefly FFST, which is a Stratocaster-like model which Firefly makes. I have a full video on modifications I've done to this thing so far, which include replacing this pickup with one I got off of Amazon, sort of a side grade, upgrading the saddles, shielding the components, putting in a better jack hardware. Otherwise, I haven't done a whole lot to this. Oh yeah, and I replaced the tuners with locking tuners, really quality locking tuners. So in this video, we're going to make a couple of additional changes to it. One thing is I'm going to take these Hipshot tuners and I'm going to remove the universal plate, which is that plate you see against the bottom, and I'm going to screw them directly into the headstock. They move a little bit the way they are now, so that'll solve that, stabilize the tuning a bit more. And I'm going to add new pickups from Guitar Fetish. I bought them off the website and I'm going to give it a try. These are the kinds you just plug in. One is the Eddy Van Halen humbucker, a gold, and then two of what they call Jimi Hendrix single coils. So we'll see how it all goes. I'll give you a tone sample at the end in the song. I hope you will comment, subscribe, and join the channel. Also, stay tuned for my upcoming live stream performances where you will be able to be part of the action. All right, let's get right into modifying this beautiful guitar. Before we get started, I wanted to just tell you a couple of things about the last modification that we'll encounter as we go into this modification. One is that the trim claw screws are tightened all the way up into the base of the body, and these screws are tightened down on the tremolo as tight as they will go. And this pick guard, actually, when I bought this guitar and took off the pickguard, it would not come off with the pickups in. So you had to unscrew the pickups, let them drop into the cavity, then take the pickguard off. Or I suppose you could take the neck off. I didn't want to go that far. But what I did do was I got them to come out by dropping the pickups. And then I took a Dremel tool and just took my time and rounded out. You can hardly see it. I'll try to get the light in there to see if we can see a little bit better. But you can hardly see the modification. It did open up a little bit. You can see the gold of the shielding inside the cavity, which I think is kind of cool. But now that's going to be really easy to just pull right off of here in order to take out these pickups. I really don't like these single coils that it came with. They are not dynamic at all. They're kind of muddy. They don't sound stratty at all, so I just want to get rid of them. Never liked them. They're also very, very noisy. We'll see how the new single coils are in terms of noise. Some are better than others, that's for sure. And then this has been a good pickup. I really have enjoyed this pickup. I'm trying to remember the brand. It might have been Goiker or something like that, but it's one of those inexpensive $25, $30 humbucker pickups, and it actually sounds really good in my estimation. So I'll be keeping this on the top shelf, so to speak, if I need to put it in another guitar that has a not so great humbucker in it. Easy swap. Now let's take a look at the pickups I chose off of the Guitar Fetish website. I don't have any kind of affiliation with Guitar Fetish. I just found out about them through videos on YouTube and decided, well, give it a try. And I bought one humbucker and two single coil pickups. One for the middle position and then one for the neck. And these are both the off-white color, which I think these are just white, so I think these are off-white. It doesn't matter. They're white. And then the pickup that I'm using to replace is a gold cover pickup, so I think that's going to look really cool. I love the gold hardware. So along with these pickups, I also purchased a wiring harness, which comes with little jacks, those little 1/4-inch jacks. They're the 3-band style. Interesting. And there's actually a jack for the jack, so to speak, where you put the guitar jack on the guitar, it actually plugs in. So there's zero soldering required. I got the high quality small pots version. They say is for imports, but it makes no difference the smaller or the large as long as they're quality. So I just went with the small ones. They're easier to fit in, easier to work with. But this all just plug and play. These pickups all come with their own plugs, their own jacks you just plug right into. So should be fairly simple. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so let's go through just a quick rundown of what we're going to do to this guitar in terms of modifications. I'm going to completely remove the wiring, the hardware, the pickups from this pick guard. All of this is already shielded from my last modification. I'll show you what that looks like. It was very easy to do. And then I'm going to put in the new pickups, screw it all back together, and theoretically it would work. Also have to install the jack, which just plugs right into the electronics. The other change I'm going to do is related to the tuners. Let's take a close look at that. These are Hipshot 18:1 beautiful locking tuners, and they have served me very well in terms of accuracy. However, there's a problem. I'll show you. So this style of locking tuner, the Hipshot closed gear locking tuners, these are actually 16:1, not 18:1, 16:1 locking tuners. They come with this universal mounting plate. They call it the UMP system, universal mounting plate. And it's this metal plate that runs the length of the tuners and avoids the need to screw in anything into the tuners, which is actually pretty convenient. However, I found a flaw in some of the installations, and I'd just rather not even risk it, and that is that they can still slide if you don't tighten them down super tight. And I'm hesitant to tighten down this hardware too much, considering that this is a roasted maple neck and it may also be a little less flexible, let's say, more rigid, so I don't want to crack anything. So anyway, I'm just going to drill some holes and put in the screws that came with these. They also come with screws, and this will stabilize it. But look what happens when oh, there you go, see that? Now I can go in and tighten it and it would make a change, but they just have a tendency to be sort of loose, I found, here and there. So I'm going to fix that. Easy fix. Before we go too far into the video, I just want to show you this beautiful ash wood. This thing is a heavy guitar, but the tone, the resonance is excellent, and it's actually quite comfortable, this little cutaway. You can see the roasted maple neck is also quite nice. They actually relic the neck, so it looks like brown or something there. I don't think it actually looks used. It just looks kind of weird. But it plays great. This is a fantastic guitar. I paid about $200 for this shipped. First step, let's just loosen up the strings so that when we unlock the tuners, they don't have lots of pressure on them. So I like to use a small clean wrench to remove these nuts. Find if you're careful, this works just fine. If you're not careful, you can end up marring the hardware, which is not what you want. One turn that comes off. I probably should have had those a little bit more tightly secured, but either way, once we have them screwed in, there'll be no chance that they can move. And now I have to remember the order I take these off in, because these are staggered tuners, which means that each tuner has a slightly different height. They actually have on this one 2 that are one height, another 2 that are another height, and then another that's even smaller going down, and that pulls the angle down of the strings from the nut so that you don't have to use a string tree, and also it just secures them better tension. But I Okay, so let's get to getting these new tuners on. First thing I have to do is make a hole, and as you can see on the tuner that was there originally, it was a hole that was straight underneath, it looks like. However, on these, it's going to be off to the side, and I'm going to mark it with this little pin that I have here. Just going to make a little indentation. But this is the lowest tuner. And if you look, it's really close. It's really close to the place you would want to put the new screw, which doesn't thrill me. One thing I could do is angle it slightly to give it a little more space, so I'm going to have to make that decision. Okay, let's make some marks. I'm going to use this Stu Mac fret rocker to kind of align these, and when I do that, I think it creates enough space. So I'm just going to go ahead and carefully mark the center point. Now I had to get a special drill bit in order to do this project. I need something that's small enough for this hole. The original size bit that I had thought I would use was just a little bit too big. And these are the screws that I'm going to be using, so they need to be very skinny. I don't want it to be too wide. This is a 1/16 inch drill bit. All right, let's get started. Now, one of the things that I'm careful about is to make sure that I have the depth of the bit set. Just put a little piece of painter's tape. I want to make sure it's set at the depth of the screw. That's how deep the screw will go. And I just put the tape so that I don't go any deeper. Now we're going to take off the pick guard and remove all the electronics. There it is. shielded. To remove some of the things I want to keep. I want to take this grounding wire off. Grounding wire soldered to the volume pot that I think I will resolder, even though this is a solderless kit. I'm going to add soldering to it. There it is. That's a good pickup. Fleor bridge. It's a ceramic pickup, but it's a good one. Okay, let's take a look at these incredible GFS pickups. They're incredible because they have been talked about so much on the internet. I have no way of knowing if they are good, but they claim this is an Eddy Van Halen-like tone. We will see. Pretty cool looking. They just plug in right in the back, as you can see. There's this simple plug. Comes with a wire that you could reuse on a pickup that doesn't have this adapter. I thought that was kind of neat. And there it is. And then the other part plugs in from this assembly I'll put in next, but fits right in there. And there you have it. I'll remove this plastic piece after I'm done installing it. Okay, so here it is, the finished installed humbucker. Now let's look at the top two pickups. All right, and here's the Jimi Hendrix pickup. Oops, cover comes right off. Don't want to damage it. You can see that's a pretty pickup. One thing kind of cool about this is it's got the two pole pieces in the middle that pop up. One towards the end. That's kind of an interesting staggered pole height. See how that sounds. Let's install these. So stay tuned to the end of the video where I will play a song that I recorded using this guitar, and I will denote in the video where you can hear the tones, but you'll be also in store for many more videos on this guitar if you are subscribed to the channel, so I hope you will do that. Now I'm going to dive into my final thoughts on this upgrade, the pickups, the wiring, and next steps. So here's the finished product after some drilling and some unscrewing and some reattaching. I'm going to attach the other video I have where I upgraded this particular guitar. I have two other videos on the channel about it, and you can see what the inside of the cavity looks like. I decided not to reproduce all of that in this video. However, I would like to say about the Guitar Fetish harness and pickup configuration where you just plug it in, the quick plug. I found it to be amazingly good on many levels, and I want to talk about that right now. First of all, incredibly easy to work with. The lengths were all correct to the pickups. They fit the pick guard exactly right. I mean, all the things you'd expect, but I will just say that was very easy. The knobs, the hardware themselves, I got the mini pots. I'm glad that I did, just because they're easier to fit in, and yeah, that's the whole reason. But the tension on these knobs, and also the taper when I use them plugged into an amp, is very nice. There's a nice amount of resistance, so it's not like you're going to just graze it with your hand and it's going to turn as you're playing. I don't like it when that happens when I'm trying to record things, especially. And the volume knob is less friction, but in a nice way. So I don't know if that's on purpose, but I like the way this volume knob rolls on and off, and I found it to be quite excellent. In terms of the pickups, this is the EVH Eddy Van Halen style humbucker, and these are the two Jimi Hendrix style single coils from the Guitar Fetish site. By the way, I'm in no way affiliated with Guitar Fetish, but these pickups I would claim are acceptable. They are good pickups. I enjoy the tone. The humbucker is beefy, I would say, and does have that Van Halen-like dynamic to it. Pretty nice. The single coils have that stratty Jimi Hendrix sound for sure, so I like that. You can see these pickups have the elevated pole pieces on the center too. It's kind of interesting, but single coils in general irritate me just because they have that 60 cycle hum, and I don't like the noise. But you know, when you don't have a lot of gain on the signal, that's usually not too much of a problem. However, I think I'm going to start moving towards noiseless pickups. I just got the Fender Vintage Noiseless, and I'm planning on installing those in a Jet JS300 Stratocaster style guitar that I just recently bought and love. Stay tuned for lots of videos on that guitar. I'm going to modify that one. That's another great guitar, like this Firefly. So I would rate this as the easiest pickup installation job of my life, hands down. Super easy. Even the jack itself plugs into is a plug-in, so there's zero wiring anywhere in this. A few simple tools, really, and this thing is a dreamer. So I'm glad that I did this upgrade. This was definitely an upgrade. The last change I did was like a side grade to upgrade to the Amazon pickups that I purchased. However, those are ceramic pickups. And that's why I bought this guitar, by the way, is to modify it with different pickup configurations and play around with this as a platform for trying mods. So this is my second upgrade of pickups on it, complete replacement. And I plan on doing more upgrades in the future, and I might upgrade with the Guitar Fetish pickups because it will be so easy to simply take the plate off, unplug these, and plug in new ones. So likely I will do that. This will be my Guitar Fetish platform to try new tones. If you know of any good tones in their pickups, for sure tell me in the comments. Let me know if you have Guitar Fetish pickups and you like a certain model, because I'd like to try them. I was curious about the P90 humbucker size and some other pickups, but to be honest, I may end up putting Fender Noiseless or the Area 67 single coils in here, the noiseless ones, just for ease. Now the other upgrade I made was to remove the universal mounting plate on these Hipshot tuners and screw it directly to the headstock, and it almost went really, really well. It went well enough, but I want to show you something that, of course, might have happened to you before in modifications, but I wanted to make sure that the line of these tuning pegs was exactly straight, and I did try to measure and place the holes to drill the new hole, and you can see that it's next to the old hole.
in most cases. And it's not perfect here. It might wiggle a little bit, but it's pretty close. But when you get to this one, it's pretty much way off. It's hard, it might be hard to tell, but that's a little bit off for sure. But actually, I just felt like, well, I'm going to put it in that spot for now, and it really doesn't bother me. I don't think you can really tell, not that I care. And this is already a Relic guitar, so why sweat it? Now, one other modification I do plan on doing is, you can see that Firefly Relic the neck here, and you do actually feel a little bit of a rub right there. It's a little rough. So what I'm going to do is, following this video, I didn't think it was interesting enough to put on the video, but I'm going to use a very fine grit sandpaper to just smooth this down and make the whole neck even more smooth. And I think that will be a good, simple upgrade. And I may actually, as a matter of fact, I think I'll make a follow-on video so you can see this. These are 2 easy mods. I'm going to do some neck upgrades on this thing. Yeah, so stay tuned for the video. I'll make a video. I'm going to go ahead and sand this down with a few grades of sandpaper probably. And I'm going to roll the edges on this. Show you how to roll the edges. It's a very simple process, so it's even more wonderful to play. If you look at this, jet guitar, these edges are rolled. They feel rolled. And it makes a huge difference in the playability of the guitar, believe it or not. I believe it because I know it in examples right here. So we're going to do that to this guitar. It continues to evolve and get better and better, like a fine wine. But this guitar is clearly inspired by a Charvel guitar that looks very, very similar in terms of the relicing. You can see that on, I'll show a picture right now. Yeah, you can see how it's pretty similar to this one. I really like it. This is an ash body. It's very heavy. I like white Stratocasters, and you might have noticed that because I have white Stratocasters basically all over this place. I love white Stratocasters. And as a matter of fact, I have a white Stratocaster in the mail arriving this week, which is another Jet JS300. I bought 2 Jet JS300s because I love them so much, and I'm going to use it as a modification platform. This is the Jet. Stay tuned for the review of this bad boy, but holy moly, actually very different than the Firefly, but dreamer neck. All right, stay tuned. Subscribe, hit the like button if you like this kind of stuff. We're going to be modifying guitars and checking out new guitars all the time. I like the inexpensive guitars where there's super value like these. These 3 guitars, 2 Firefly Telecasters and a Jet, are all great, great guitars. You know, the pickups you can change in and out, but the foundation they're great guitars. Yeah, so anyhow, this is inspired, for me, the white thing is because Jimi Hendrix played a white with a maple neck, and I always thought that was really, really cool. I kind of associate that with my early days and reason for playing guitar to start with. I love the Jimi Hendrix thing, and I had a huge poster of Jimi Hendrix playing a white Stratocaster with a maple neck in my bedroom growing up, so it was burned into my psyche. And this one has a rosewood fretboard, very nice stainless steel frets. However, the one that I ordered and will arrive has a maple neck, and it's a roasted maple neck, so very nice with rolled edges and the whole 9. So stoked on that, stoked to show you that. But this upgrade was well worth it. As they say, the juice was well worth the squeeze.
Just an illusion, a trap for your mind, a trap for your mind. I will not forget that life is a bell tone, strike and the rise, the noise and a die. What would you